Guys, the intro for the new King of the Hill dropped, and every single frame has a lot of potential lore attached to it. We begin with the first frame, harkening back to the original King of the Hill run. Hank opens his beer, and we go through the seasons. We see them in fall weather, to the winter time, and where Dale is wearing like a ski mask for whatever reason, which seems like a typical Dale activity. Back to Joseph and Bobby having some fun with a skateboard, while Bobby records it on what seems to be a smartphone. Our first hint of the modern era of King of the Hill. Connie stops by and displays a global warming project, and where Bobby and Joseph join Connie on whatever activism that she's trying to promote. Meanwhile, we see Con and Min, and they're having an argument, which, as we know from the leaks, we know that apparently Con and Min divorce, leading to Con to move in with Bill. So I wonder how that plotline's gonna go. We cut back to another wintertime. Dale is still in that ski mask. We then go to a rainy season with everyone in their jackets, and then followed by Dee Dee Hill picking up Good Hank from Bobby, where it seems to be that Bobby and Good Hank have a really good relationship with each other. By the way, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We also see our first glimpse of Bobby truly older, seeming to be maybe in his teenage years in this frame right here. But then this is the part of the video where I think things become a little more tragic and saddening. As we know in the show, Nancy had an affair with John Redcorn that Dale was completely oblivious about. In fact, in the finale of King of the Hill, I thought it was a good way for them to end that series, with Dale actually massaging Nancy to treat her for her headache, which made me assume that they truly trusted each other once again, and John Redcorn would never get in the way of that again.
Thank you, Shug. My headache feels a lot better.
Well, I may not have John Redcorn's healing touch, but I do know a lot about the female body on account I once saw a possum ripped apart.
But here I see that John Redcorn is picking up Nancy again, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh no, did they rekindle their affair with each other? And once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Dale was continuously oblivious to it all. Suddenly we see Hank leave the group. We see a sad Joseph and Connie, with Bobby hugging Connie and Joseph looking very bothered by it all. Can I just say, this intro has made me emotional? It's only 30 seconds, but so much happens. We're only 9 seconds into the intro, by the way, in terms of my analysis. As the Hills leave Arlen, we see Boomhauer put his beer up, Dale put his hat down, and Bill start to cry, to which in the next few frames, we see Bill not taking this very well. He continues to cry and miss the Hills, as they were really part of his entire world. Eventually, a moving truck shows up, and a new person moves into the Hill residence, coming to take Hank's spot in the Big Four. All the seasons go by once again, as we see years go by. But then we see Bill cough. Oh, the pandemic has started. Something that is crazy to me is that Bill leaves after he gets COVID, and for the rest of the intro, he just doesn't come back, which has led people to worry and think, did Bill die? But don't worry guys, he did not die. He's simply sharing his living space with Con during this time. We then see Dale, Boomhauer, and this new character put masks on and stand 6 feet apart, as it was something we were used to back in the day. Let me just say this as well. I also love Dale's Bass Pro Shop hat. We love Bass Pro Shop here. Let me just make that clear. But not only that, I also see that Dale doesn't really have his mask fully on as well, which once again was kind of like a big cultural deal back during the height of the pandemic when it came to mask usage. Also, here's something else that's interesting. I think Boomhauer finally settles down, as we see this woman and a kid step in, and a couple frames later, we see Boomhauer join them. We then see the new guy and Dale just sit at the front for a while, with them not interacting. I have a theory about this guy. I don't think the others end up liking him, which is why people stopped hanging out at the front of the fence. So I'm curious to see what this guy's story is. I imagine we're gonna have some episodes that take place in the past, before the Hills come back to Arlen. We then see a frame of Dale taking his mask off, and then Joseph showing up with "Vote for Dale Gribble" mayor signs, which has Dale and Joseph pretty amped up. Now, we don't know if Dale wins this race. I do think it'd be funny if Dale does become mayor of Arlen. That'd be pretty insane. And maybe this would be like King of the Hill's way of tackling current political issues, with Dale now as a politician. That's a pretty unique idea. I'd love to see that storyline. So Dale leaves to go run for mayor, I assume, which leaves this new guy just out there in front of the alleyway for a long time and for a couple frames. Dale comes back, puts a sign down in front of the Hill residence, as we see the seasons go by once again. Finally, the new guy drinks his beer and walks back into his house, with that being the last time we see him. Even more years go by, until we see Peggy and Hank come back to their former home. So you may be wondering, where do they go? Well, there is an answer to this. It is revealed that Hank Bobby and Peggy move out from Arlen. There's a quote that's come out to coincide with the intro that tells us where the Hill family has gone to. After years working a propane job in Saudi Arabia to earn their retirement nest egg, Hank and Peggy Hill return to a changed Arlen, Texas to reconnect with old friends Dale, Boomhauer, and Bill.
Mamma mia!
Hank grabs the Dale sign and throws it away, revealing to us, credited by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels. It's so crazy to see this again. Like their names credited on a new season of King of the Hill. This is insane to me. Finally, we see an older Bobby Hill run towards his parents and where he poses with them, with glee. I just wanted to say that I really like Bobby's older design. I think it fits well with his character and what we know him to be, and it seems to me he hasn't lost that optimistic outlook that he's had since he was a kid. Seeing adult Bobby hug his parents is kind of like super emotional. Like it isn't just that they've grown older since the series has ended, it's that we've also grown older as well. The seasons passing, the years going by, we felt that as well, guys. You know, we went through the pandemic as well. We've seen some crazy stuff since the show's ending in 2010. Here we are in 2025, way older than what we were. There's a stigma when it comes to adult cartoons that when it comes to these shows, you can't really move forward. It's usually there's a status quo you gotta keep in mind. But something that King of the Hill is doing that's unique is that it is moving forward. It's ready to go and take on new storylines, which, you know, could be a huge risk. But, you know, after watching this intro, I have a lot of faith when it comes to Mike Judge and what he's doing. Something some people are curious about is when exactly is this show taking place now? I think it's set in the year 2025, which I think is perfect. The original show's timeline ranged Bobby from being born from like 1987 to 1997. It was a timeline that was very flowing, and in the reboot, he's apparently 21 now, which would make him born in 2004. Some people may have a problem with this, because I guess it makes things inconsistent, but dude, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that time went by. There are also other things in the show that I'm hoping gets addressed. Like, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a mention of Ladybird, maybe even like a Ladybird-centric plotline of Hank dealing with the loss of Ladybird, assuming that Ladybird is dead, right? I mean, it's been 8 years, Ladybird was pretty old in the entire series, so Ladybird's probably gone. In other news, I think there's gonna be some pretty good gags having to do with Hank and Peggy's time while living in Saudi Arabia. That's crazy to me. The Hills moved to Saudi Arabia, what did they even do there? Something that I also think is interesting is that Hank dresses more similar to Cotton, which I wonder is also another thing that will touch on the show. Also, another thing I'm interested in is what's been going on with Connie and Joseph. How is Bobby gonna reintegrate with them? Will Bobby and Connie get back together? Is there some drama happening in the background between Joseph and Bobby? There's a lot of interesting ways you could take this. It seems to me Bobby has also been successful as well. Being a co-owner of a restaurant at the age of 21? It's interesting seeing a real-life time jump like this. Anyway, subscribe, like this video. See you guys later.